How do you think Brodie Croft looked today?
Thought he looked like Brodie Croft, but in a better coloured jersey.
Leeds have won back-to-back rugby league titles. The golden generation finally has its golden fleece. No England game, it seems, is complete without a Ryan Hall try. Jamie Peacock.
Kevin Sinfield.
Rob Burrow.
Jamie Jones Buchanan for Leeds.
It's one of the most popular beards in rugby league now.
There aren't many in Super League that can do that.
We just want to be a great friend, and if we can all try and be a bit of a better friend from time to time, I think we have a bit of a better place to live in.
The Lot Pod is kindly sponsored by Fast Signs. Fast Signs are an established family-run business who've been providing businesses around Leeds and West Yorkshire with effective signs and graphics for almost 30 years. Fast Signs are passionate about helping customers make a statement with signs that are eye-catching, effective and delivered fast. We can start. Hi everyone, welcome to the Lot Pod, the Leeds Rhinos Lot 17-8 podcast, kindly sponsored by Fast Signs. Match review panel time for the final time in 2024. Thank God for that. Everybody says, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Joining me as always, my right-hand man, my left-hand man, my right-hand man as you're watching this, stat man Rhys. How are you?
I'm a little stressed, to be honest.
Nobody needs to know we've almost been in here.
Yeah.
You've almost...
Yeah,
been fighting
it's
for it
taken
now.
50 minutes to get this working because someone forgot the SD card.
We're naming no names. We
No
don't know
names.
the quality of this, but we're just doing it, and that's that. So it's either recording directly through Rhys's laptop,
Oh, not recording at all?
or not recording at all, but we're only doing this once. Agreed?
Agreed.
Fine.
So it's either everyone can hear and watch this, or perhaps it's just recording through the phone.
Maybe it is.
It's going to be either be really good quality or really.
It's exactly like the Rhino season. You have no idea what to expect. It could be a really good day.
I
it
think
could be a really
recording it
shit
directly
day.
through that would have been suffice and absolutely apt. And Duncan's here. How are you?
I'm good, mate. Thank you very
Welcome
much.
back again. Do we have to review this?
It's the purpose of the pod.
Should we just leave it at that and just stay?
We can go off-
Goodbye, everybody,
We can go off on tangents. as we
and
always
have a
do.
love it. Shall we start on a tangent? What should we talk about initially? Boxing? No, I'll tell you what I want to talk about to you. The Martinez red card yesterday. Eh?
Yeah, it was a red card.
But why? Well, we know
And
why.
yeah,
Because he's
yeah.
wearing that shirt. But how?
Well,
That is just.
we should have beat him.
Yeah, he should have. Absolutely diabolical.
And we should have beaten KR. Segue back into rugby league. Crack
But
on.
United,
Yeah, they did.
they did, and that was nice. Obviously,
Boring.
you don't care.
No.
And Coldplay playing Craven Park. That's impressive.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
is it?
blatantly being paid a lot of money and they don't know where they're going.
I've got to tip the hat, to be fair. I think it's incredibly impressive
That's
that the only dates they're
absolutely-
playing in the UK are 6 states at Wembley and then 2 in all.
They'll never go back to Hull.
No,
obviously.
no.
Very, very impressive. Match review panel time for the last time this year. This is the final nail in the coffin of Leeds Rhinos season. We'll start in true lot pod fashion with the positives, Duncan. What positives can Leeds take to finish off this dreadful year?
He made a couple of mistakes, but I'd say Alfie Edgell. I'd say Riley Lum.
That's two.
Croft's assist was very nice. I just don't like OKR. It's just a horrible ground. It's
Tell
it's
Coldplay
got
that.
to be the worst ground in the league.
Worse than Cass?
Yeah, by a mile. At least you
Really?
can see where you're attacking at Cass.
That's true.
They look a mile
You
away.
don't have to stand at the back, Duncan. You can.
No, but even at the
can.
front,
That
fucking-
standard,
you can go a little-
It
and
does
then
seem
speed
like
again.
it's the worst viewing ground in the league by a mile.
Starman Reese. Positives.
Without sounding too morbid, the positive for me is that the season's done.
I absolutely agree.
It's turned into. I think we had that glimpse of hope against Hull FC, and then it's just we've been well and truly grounded to earth by the two teams that finished first and second. And
Yeah,
the,
we're going to roll some. aren't we?
the pedigree between the two sides it's just grounded us a bit. And to be honest, I'm just glad the season's over because I did fear if we snuck into the playoffs, I did fear what was going to come next, which was probably going to be a
It's just been more the same.
which
It's just been more
which
the
is such a
same.
We'd
negative
have won it if we'd have
mindset.
got in.
3 weeks.
Yeah, it's such a negative mindset for me, and I'm not normally one to have a negative mindset. I normally want to be positive and try to be positive, but I am just kind of relieved the season is done, and I'm looking forward to watching the playoffs as a neutral. Also, I'm on holiday for the grand final, so I don't have to worry about any
You won't
clash.
see Wigan win it. Yeah.
I won't see Wigan win it.
Yeah,
again.
don't watch it. I don't think I will watch it.
But in terms of players, like, I think there's obviously one big mistake from Alfie, and young players are going to make those mistakes. It's Alfie's first year in the season. If you look at Alfie's season as a whole, that's not reflective of his quality.
Yeah.
And you can argue made up for it before and after it. It was a small blip on who is a very good player, and obviously was the young player of the year at the awards as well. So yeah, I'd still say Alfie is a positive, and Riley's still. Oh, I like watching Riley play. He's quite a sleek, isn't he? Like he seems to break tackles, seems to break through. Probably came inside too many times than I probably would want him to on the Friday night. But again, it's good for him to get game time, because I reckon, well, hopefully he should get some game time next year.
Yeah, looks like a Super League player. I agree with that. You mentioned it, Duncan. Lovely run from Brody into the line and an amazing ball to Rhys Martin. What did you think of Brody's performance on Friday?
Same. Well, it was a bit sketchy, but again, it's been like our season.
Yeah.
It was
Every
sort
player we
of
talk
like
about, it's going to be very similar.
I mean, that assist was probably one of the best has been this year.
Yeah, I loved it.
But you won't talk about it because it was in a loss. But he's got 20 odd assists, 8 tries, 22 assists, 8 tries this year.
Second in the league for assists.
Like behind no pack.
Yeah.
I think any form of criticism that comes his way is just unwarranted. I think if the replacement for Martin is a second rower that will run holes outside Croft, he'll get 30 odd assists next year.
Yeah.
So yeah, brilliant assist. We were right in line with it, and he went in and out, fixed the defender, and Rhys hit the gap nicely. But we don't do it enough. No. We don't do it enough. I think if he needs players outside him that are hitting these holes, and the more we can get on the front foot, the better. But he's not going to like create tries from his own 20.
No. He already has.
Well, he has, but
he's kicked a few to Ash.
Well,
he's done that twice this year.
He got try of the season, didn't he, Brody, for that league?
For the league.
Can I be really controversial? I didn't think
on this platform.
I don't think that was try of the season.
No, I don't.
No, it's.
But then again, for the emotion that he showed after it, probably
the event, the game. I can get why it means a lot to a lot of people. That I do get it. But in terms of quality, the try of the season was either Ash in round 1 or Ash in round 2.
Or 2.
Yeah.
Back to back.
It was one of those two. Probably.
I'd
probably argue the first one more than anything, mainly because he went round Nina McDonald and
beautiful
Super League Dream Team player.
3 actually. He's playing. We'll talk
about a kick in the team.
Slightly later. Matty Parcell scored a try, which is so obvious because any ex-Leeds player playing against Leeds does tend to score. But I thought the defending was absolutely abysmal, Rhys. What did you think?
3 or 4 tackles, I think, went through there. Yeah, it was awful. It was awful. And it's always annoying when it's a former Leeds player, especially a Leeds player we should never have let go.
No, I don't
but yeah, it was just. Arthur would have been. I reckon they would have got a rollicking for that try. When they've done video sessions, if they've done one yet, that try is going to come up on the screen, and they're going to get an absolute rollicking for that, because Arthur's about effort and meeting up, and no one was in the right place at the right time for that one at all.
Well, is it a certain? Were the 3 players there?
Sangara.
Duncan's been making eye contact, me like, "Don't steal my point."
No.
I want to say his name.
In all honesty, it's just it comes when forwards are getting to the back end of their spells. I mean, Sangara's would be like 12 minutes, and he's knackered. But
for the rest of the game.
Yeah. But whenever our pack are coming to, we're not conditioned. So when players are getting towards the end of the spell, that's when the mistakes start to come in. Whether it be we'll concede silly penalties, we'll knock the ball on, we'll miss tackles. Like we were in that game. Probably up until 20 minutes to go, it started really blowing out because all the team were knackered, because they're not conditioned to play the way that Arthur wants to play. It feels like we've kind of hit that wall at Wigan and that just completely knocked the stuffing out of anything. I felt they had a good dig at KR. I don't think KR are miles in front of us. I don't get the logic of. I get they're a good side, they're well drilled, but I think we will be the same next year. I know we keep saying, "Oh yeah, we will be next year. We will be next year."
We've been saying
But
it for 4 years.
I genuinely believe we've now got people that we can trust that are one making the
we said that
decisions on
last year.
recruitment, and secondly, we've got probably one of the most well-established coaches we could have going into next season.
For a long time.
He clearly got a view of who he already sees that he wants to keep, wants to get rid of. I don't think we are miles behind KR.
I think that the first we should never be behind KR. Let's just put that out there.
Yeah,
we should never be behind KR. We should never be finishing 8th. It should be minimum top 4.
Oh no, I'm not sticking up for finishing where we finished.
I think those first 20 minutes in that second half, we were making mistakes, and what KR did was they put us down our end of the field every single time. We couldn't get her out of our own half. I think that first 20 minutes, I don't think we had a play in their half. Yeah. We were constantly pushed back off the line, and we just couldn't fight it, and that took the energy out of us, which then KR exploited in that 60 to 70 minutes where they got 2-3 tries, and the game ran away with it. But like as Duncan said, the energy was sucked out in that time period because we were taking every set from our own 5-10 metre line, trying to take it out, and then all of a sudden we're getting pagging an attack. So the energy was sucked out of us. And it was always my worry with the first game or two when I watched Arthur's Rhinos and go, we're not fit enough for this. We aren't. I did think we'd get caught out on some games, and I think we've been caught out against the good teams who have got the right levels of fitness and aggression and effort there. And I think that showed on Friday.
You mentioned Alfie earlier, Rhys. Nice, really nice dummy and well taken try. I like how he backs himself in these situations. Gets to the try line and says, I'm good enough. I think it makes him look like he's experienced or more experienced and playing beyond his years. Good try there. Obviously, he knocked on.
Let's stick with the try first, though. Go for the try. It's a really professional finish, is that? That isn't a finish of a 20-year-old kid in his first year.
Playing way beyond his years.
He stepped round Hiku, I think, was it? And he pushed Hiku off and he went round whoever was covering at last end. But he beat three people for that and a really quality finish when he had options outside. And players get ridiculed for not taking those options outside. But if you're going to finish it, then who cares?
Back yourself every time, yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a really professional finish from Alfie, and it shows his potential from fullback because obviously we saw him at Wigan finishing those roles there. But that's the sort of stuff that you want to see in his fullback progression, is joining the line and making those efforts either to set up or score tries. And it was a really well taken finish that he's given credit for.
Yeah, Rhys is right because he's been playing prominently on the wing, but then when he switched back to fullback, he seemed to just glide back into it.
Yeah, I think he's been good. We mentioned earlier his young player of the season. I don't even think.
But will he be the Lot Pod young player of the season?
He didn't let the error bother him as well. I didn't think because Yerry made the error, but I think second half it'd have been easy. It wasn't like a Hooley performance when Abdul bombed us to death.
Hooley, wow! I completely forgot about him.
That's only last year.
Hooley, wow!
But it wasn't like that. I felt he bounced back well, which shows the character that he's actually got character for the fight. He didn't want to hide. I thought he stood up to be counted. Yeah, he made a mistake. Yeah, it conceded a try. If a fullback makes a mistake, naturally with the position they're in, it's 9 times out of 10 it's going to cost us. But no, I felt he had a good game. And like you say with his try, I thought he took it well. He's just fearless, isn't he, when he runs the ball? He don't care if he's going to get whacked, and I think that helps him because he don't mind like running into the line. Where I think a few players, I won't mention any negatives, but I think a few players sort of have a bit of fear about them.
He doesn't stop when he goes into contact. Yeah. He goes in for it. But I think especially a measure any of a young player, is how you react to mistakes from that. And I think Alfie can still walk away from that pitch feeling positive of his battle performance. And actually, I think when it comes to the player ratings, you'll see that's reflected from the fans' point of view as well.
A little link into the
link. Yeah, you missed them, haven't you?
Sneaky link.
But that affects that, I think.
But I thought the kick from Lewis for the knock on, I thought it was a beauty kick.
His kicking
Looked
game
like
is
he was going
brilliant.
across and then just kind of looped it back over.
It went high.
And I'm
It
back
was-
You've got to remember though, at Hull, it gets some extra wind from somewhere. It's like playing at Mile High in Denver. For some reason, it's not altitude. It's just whatever. But I mean, I absolutely detest him, Mikey Lewis. I think he's an actual horrible grub. But I'd have him on our side any day of the week. And I think his kicking game is phenomenal. Like he gets the ball higher than most people. It gives an opportunity to get the chase in the air at KR when it's open to the elements. It's going to move around. So when you're setting in position at one point, it's probably moved, a feet either side by the time you've set yourself. So it's not easy at all. But it was a pearl of a kick. But that's no real surprise. It's been happening at KR for years, and Lewis does it home and away.
I wasn't particularly bothered when he knocked it on, because I'm like, it's a young kid playing fullback. You kind of give a bit more, or for me, a lot more leeway when it's a younger player. Had that been Lucky Miller, I'd have been sat here now saying that was appalling from Lucky Miller. But because it was a younger player, bearing in mind I just said the kick was fab, which it was, but because it was Alfie, watching it, I was more like, I'm not that bothered that he's made that error because he's a young kid. Do you feel similar? Or
it's like I said, I think for me, it's how the young kids are going to make mistakes. They're gonna, because they're learning to play Super League
nicely, yeah. They need to play for the experience.
Do they let us down? No, they don't.
No, never.
Alfie's been probably the second best winger we've had this year behind Hanley. And we've got Fussy in the squad, who obviously never plays.
What a great way to sign off your Leeds Rhinos career.
It's perfect. And this is just the absolute, of course. Of course, we are.
So you're going to write a script for how Fussy's season was going to end at the Rhinos.
I mean, as much as we laugh and jest, and I was so excited when we signed him.
I've
been gutted for 3 years.
It's just, I mean, but he just don't get on the field. He's not been on the field long enough. Yeah.
Wish him all the best.
Yeah.
But to your point about Alfie, because he's young, does he get a free pass? I think I don't think he should in a way. I think you should hold him to exactly the same high standards of the person that would always play that position.
He will. Arthur will hold him to
Arthur
that.
will hold him.
But I think
they'll speak about it.
Yeah, I think
he certainly did a lot more positive than he did negative. Alfie.
But I think Alfie will hold himself to a higher standard than that as well. He will be annoyed, but but again, it's the measure of how he reacts to it.
I think it's mental toughness in it. It'd have been very easy after that because he was getting peppered second half. That break that he made, it was a decent chase, and he turned it into an average chase, and he made an extra 40 metres upfield.
Because
if Roberts makes, I'll do it now. If Roberts makes that error, he will capitulate.
Goes into hiding.
Funnily enough, when the ball went in the air, I said he's going to drop this. Because he's one player that I just would not back under a high ball.
But Willie Peters at half time was going, that kid fullback has just dropped it. You're dropping every kick on him for the next 20 minutes, and he didn't drop another one.
No.
It was a one-off.
And he did the same in round 2, did Alfie Odger, when we played at KL last time. He dropped one, but overall, for us that week, he might have done.
That's when he found out at short notice.
You were reviewing it?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
He found out at short notice, that one.
Because that's when Miller got off bus, wasn't it? And it was injured.
It was too cold.
Yeah, pretty much. Have you got any stats for us, Statman Rhys, in this one?
I do indeed. So, obviously, we know the score.
We never mentioned the score.
Possession, we actually had more. We had 51% to their 49%. Wow. We both completed 96% of sets.
It didn't feel like we completed at 96%. It really didn't.
This is the same.
Saying it with a bit of conviction.
This is the same stats that sometimes say I think one game we completed 108%. So, yeah. We both completed 32 sets, both KR and Leeds. We carried for 193 metres. Carried 193 times for 1,148 metres. Post-contact metres of 431. Tackle bus 34. Plays at a ball in the opposition 21. Errors 8 and missed tackles 35. And then in terms of players, there were... Sorry, I'm doing this without my spreadsheet, so I'm a bit slower today. There were 3 players over 100 metres.
Lum.
Riley Lum. You knew I was going to do a quiz then, didn't you?
Edgell.
Lum, yeah. Edgell.
Harry.
Who?
Harry.
Nope, not Mr. Newman.
Martin.
Rhys Martin, yeah.
It just had to be, didn't it? Yeah, it's going to be.
So Alfie Edgell, 148 metres off 22 carries. Riley Lum, 141 metres off 15 carries. And Rhys Martin, 128 metres off 18 carries. Honourable mention to Mick Oledsky, who had 99 metres, but that's not on the 100 mark.
But yeah, again, people say he's average.
He carries a pack, doesn't he? Tackles wise, Oledsky was 42 tackles. James Bentley was 56.
56.
And
Prop James.
Cameron Smith was 58.
And obviously Cammy.
From there, and there's nothing really else to note. Really,
what was Sangaro's meters?
Just mix them up, Rhys. 14.
Well, I can tell you, Lasone was 36 off 7, and I can tell you Justin Sangaro is 29 off 5, so 5 carries.
How many carries did Oledsky take?
Oledsky did 15.
So he did more than Sangaro and Lasone put together.
Again.
And how many tackles did they make? Because Mick made 42, didn't
he? Mick made 42, Lasone 16, and Sanga 19. So he made more tackles.
He did more than both.
So
that's not a surprise, is it?
And, no, but it goes back to like these people that are saying that Oledsky's average.
Who's saying his average?
Oh, there's idiots, absolute morons that just clearly don't understand the game.
Super League Dream Team 22.
I mean, the guy's played busted all year. And
he has to carry the weight of the pack. He has to do the workload.
Imagine if we had someone else in that pack helping.
Even
so, you could put like if we replace Rhys with, I'd like a line running back row, like I've said, and then actually you get a big meter maker in the props. All of a sudden, Mick's job might get a little bit easier, and if he's churning out the same numbers, but he's got people at the side of him that are actually going to work. And
well, if he's not having to play 60 minutes at full on and carry the pack, you know, if he has to play 60 minutes where he's actually getting a share of the workload, his carries will be more impactful. Because he's not having to work.
I think in the right circumstances, he could do 80 minutes, Mick.
He has done 80 minutes before,
but like I think asking him to do 80 at the minute when he's doing three people's work, it's embarrassing really for the other two.
Yeah, absolutely pants. I heard the guys on the Only in Rugby League podcast talking about Oledsky, and they were saying he needs to leave and he's fallen off a cliff and something to those effect, but he doesn't.
Idiots.
I think what they don't understand.
Idiots.
He's been carrying the pack.
I think
3 years, and he needs help. There's no one else to help him.
So I was having a debate. I go fishing surprisingly after we get beat.
You do loads of boring stuff.
No. Is it fishing? No. Fishing online. I don't know. Mark actually does do fishing, but no, I went fishing online and I saw this guy saying that we need to be getting rid of the likes of Oledsky and Cam Smith.
And so Cam Smith, who's made more tackles than anyone in Super League.
Exactly. So, but these guys, what I always say is they're doing the work of 2 or 3 people. So like Oledsky's stats there, that yes, it's just one game, but it's not. It's a snippet of the season.
Yeah.
So I get people from the outside will look at Mick and go, "Oh, actually, he's not."
Crap.
But if every single week he's up around 100 meters,
carrying,
and that's the sign of a prop who is coming into the best years of the career. For me, if we can get Mick has a full pre-season under Arthur, we actually sort out the recruitment in the pack. I think they could be eating the words when it gets to next season.
Just talk about some of the stats of the season then in terms of how some of the Rhinos players stack up. Croft is second in the assists. In fact, if you look at the top 10 players, I think 10th is Ollie Leland, but everyone above them is a player that's pretty much in the playoffs. So you lack on Lambs, Mikey Lewis, Sneed, Evalds, Williams, Dufty, Matt Moylan, Lucky Miller actually in 9th there. But, you know, again, is around that sort of number.
It's all teams with good packs.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's going to come down to.
And then, again, Cam Smith, 992 tackles this year, more than any other player in Super League,
in the whole league,
which is the same as last year as well. He also made the second most marker tackles. So if you put the two numbers together, he has made more tackles than absolutely anyone in Super League, which does unfortunately go unnoticed. Tackle busts, Lucky Miller topped the tackle bust chart. 206 tackle busts this year. The next nearest was Matt Duffy with 165 tackle busts. So a big difference between the two. Lucky Miller was the second highest carrier in Super League, so he had 489 carries. And number one will be joining the Rhinos next year, which is Mr. Ryan Hall. He had more carries than anyone this year in Super League. Interesting on Ryan Hall, he also had the fourth most errors, and Lucky Miller had the fifth most errors. So something to look forward to next year in the back line.
Next year, then.
And in the meters wise, I don't think we had anyone near the meters. I'll just have a double check. Lucky Miller was seventh in the meters. Ryan Hall actually was second from there. But yeah, no real notes. In fact, who's conceded the most penalties? Let's see if we've got a Leeds player up there. Oh, we do. James McDonald's conceded the most penalties out of any player
in the league
this year, joint with Harry Smith. I did not realise that.
Joint with Harry Smith.
Sorry, James. I didn't mean to call you out there, but I just saw it. Just saw it by accident.
Sorry,
so there's some of the stats that are stacked up over the season. So
talking of outside backs, Paul Momorowski came shooting out the line for the KR try. I can't remember who scored. Really poor. He must have been offside.
I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to answer your question with a question, and you can tell me if it's unfair. But has Momorowski checked out? Because in the last 2 weeks I was so excited when we signed him. I was really up for it, and I've been trying to back him when I've heard people have a go at him. And in these last 2 weeks, he's been
too busy playing with his hair.
Dreadful.
He does have nice hair.
You're just jealous, you two, of that. Well, you can't make those comments on
soft.
It. It's not fair.
Really
soft.
Nice.
No, but I agree, Rhys. He's played for Sydney, Melbourne, Penrith. Comes over, massive raps, and really he's not what we need. I think he's too soft.
I'm still adamant as a player there.
No, we can't be.
In these last 2 weeks, I've just been so disappointed with some of the efforts that he's made. And it just felt a bit like he checked out, or I was like, it's done, or whatever. I've not been impressed with how he's carried himself, and maybe I'm reading these games wrongly. Some people might agree with me, some people won't, but if out of any player in the last 2 games, it's probably him I've been disappointed with most. And that run out, he was nowhere near it. And if you're going to run out the line, it's classic Kevin Sinfield in 2013 World Cup, innit? If you're going to make a run out like that on the line and leave a massive gap in your line, at least get him, or at least slow him down. You can't do that and not be sure you're not. Yeah, he was nowhere near it, and it cost us a try.
Would you be gutted if he was to leave at the end of the year, Dunk? No. Do you think he should go?
Yeah. 100%.
Get rid of him.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's a quota spot. I agree.
Is he still a quota spot on the new rules?
He will be, because he's not been over here for.
Oh, is it? All right. I thought he might have found a grandparent or something.
5 years over here. That you've got to be on the new rules. Anyway, I think he's still quota next year. Nah, not for me. I think your quotas have got to be. They've got to be outstanding. We've got to demand that.
They've got to be Brodie Croft.
And if
it's a Brodie Croft impact.
Yeah.
I think if you look through the quotas this year, I think Croft has had a good year. I would say he's had a good year. Rhys has had a good year.
Who?
Momorowski, Frawley,
Miller's
Miller's got better as it's gone on.
Miller's had a good year.
And I think now that he's been given a bit of direction from Arthur,
he'll be better. He'll be even better.
Yeah, he'll be even better next year. But yeah, Momorowski and Frawley, you can take a leave, really, I think.
Andy Ackers scored. Was it his first try for Leeds?
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I'm looking up.
I think you're right.
I think that's worth mentioning, right? First try.
I'm sure it is.
I think you're right. If you just do some filler for a couple of minutes.
Squeeze one in. What have you made of Ackers this year? You kind of mentioned Croft, Miller, and all the overseas. What have you made of Andy Ackers?
I like Ackers. I think he's a decent 9. I think he gets. I think the thing that people look at is when you spend money on players, they automatically, because it's quite rare in Super League, they automatically expect Leeds are going to be top 2, we're going to be winning things, and Ackers is going to come in and he's going to be sensational. But we haven't got him on the front foot. And how many quick play the balls has he had? He's working behind one of the. We have got one of the, whether we like it or not, we've got one of the worst packs in the league.
Yeah.
And I think, to me, I think you judge him next year, but the green shoots are there. I think under Arthur, I think the more he gets us playing direct, and if we get a pack to match how he wants us to play, then your 9, 6, 7, and 1 should be really standing out, because they're the ones that are going to benefit more and more from us playing faster.
That's that long enough to.
It was his only try. It was his only try. But he doesn't. But interestingly, he doesn't score a lot of tries.
No, he doesn't.
The most tries he's ever scored in a Super League season is 3, which was last year.
Yeah,
he's only got 8 Super League career tries, so he's not. I think if people are expecting him to be scoring week in, week out, he's not. But I would be interested to know that how many times he's broken from dummy half, and he supplied a try. But no, it's nice for Andy. I think the thing I liked about Andy's try as well was that at least we finished on a try in terms of the season. Yeah. I know it's small winnings, but
finished
at least
on a positive.
well, yeah, I'd rather us finish that way than concede another try of the other end. But Andy's a good player. But I think, with Jared's progression, they'll only help each other thrive, hopefully. And Jared's still got more to learn off a player like Andy Ackers.
Anything else on this game before we jump to the player ratings? Duncan, no? Batman Rhys?
Just 2024, done.
Thanks. And dusted. Player ratings.
Player ratings for the last time. Of the
Everybody's
year.
Cheering.
Including the players, if they've ever listened to this.
They're always listening.
So it's still pretty close in the actual total rankings, but we will not reveal who has won it, because that'll be a separate
pod awards.
But it's still very close. But if I finally get to the sheet and the spreadsheet that I'm looking for, and that is the following. Hang on, I'm just going to do some filler for a bit, because I don't like the way it's looking at the moment.
You need to do some on-air production.
Just do some on-air production. I only had 50 minutes to set up the podcast today, so clearly wasn't.
What people don't know is it's actually 10-1.
In reality, I was just watching it.
I've had a little kit.
I was just watching the NFL, even though the Jags aren't playing. Right, got the player ratings. Alfie Edgell, 7.1.
Too low.
About right.
About right.
I would be pushing towards 7.5 if I was going to be picky, but 7.1.
Slightly closer to 8.
Duncan's best mate, Lewis Roberts, at 4.3.
Too high.
Yeah, we're good.
Momorowski, 4.2.
Too high.
Too high, I agree with that. Harry Newman, a 5.
Too low.
Every week.
I
have an issue with it. I'm not saying anything else.
Riley Lum, 6.4.
That's too low.
Too low.
Brody, 7.1.
Yeah, it's about right, but maybe too high.
Frolls, 5.4. Oledzki, 6.2.
No. both Mick and Harry, there's issues here.
Ackers, 5.7.
Wait for Cams. I bet that's bad.
Yeah, Cam is similar.
Sangare, 3.4. McDonald. I was trying to get through it. McDonald, 5.7. Rhys, 6.9. Cammy, 5.1.
There you go.
Bentley, 4.8. Jared, 5.6. Lasoni, 4.5. Dono, 5.1. And Brad Arthur, 6.4.
Is that Brad Arthur's lowest score then?
No, I believe he got lower last week. He got 5.4 for the Wigan game. So, yeah.
So, according to the player ratings, the listeners, the viewers, man of the matches,
Brodie Croft or Alfie Edgell, because they've got 7.1s.
0.1. So that's what the listeners and viewers think, Duncan. But who's your fast signs player of the match?
Riley Lum. Statman Rhys?
Hang on, no. Explain, please.
Explain? No,
Yeah,
I thought he was the best player on the field. I thought he was really good, really impressive. I think
I like how you explain player of the match by the best player in the field there.
Well, yeah.
Rather than telling me why he was the best one.
In a poor attacking side, which we were on, when was it? Friday night?
Well, it's 4 o'clock in the morning now, so whatever.
I've forgotten what day we're on. So yeah, no, on Friday he was in a poor attacking side. I thought he stood out as a.
What rating did he get?
6.4. He was number 3. Oh no, 4 on the charts because Rhys Martin got 6.9.
Do you agree with Duncan Statman Rhys?
No, I don't. I'm going to give it to Alfie Edgell.
Me too. Alfie Edgell, you are the Fast Signs player of the match. So that's that. That's the 2024 season done and dusted. That's the final nail. We can all get over it. We can all sleep.
We've got to do the awards yet.
We can have a laugh at that. Brad Arthur spoke after the game, and I think it was good old JD at BBC Radio Leeds that said something along the lines of, "What does pre-season look like? When does it start?" Words to that effect. And Brad Arthur said they're having a week's worth of pre-season this week, next week, whenever that may be, as we should be playing playoff footy. What did you think when he said that?
It's just good, isn't it? It's refreshing.
I was absolutely over the moon.
No, it's not sugar-coated.
No.
There's no
do you think
fluffiness around it. He's already said, hasn't he? It's going to be a long, hard pre-season, which is what they need.
Yeah.
My only involvement in this pre-season that I would like is to be a fly on the wall watching it. It sounds like it's going to be pretty brutal.
Because I think, and this is just me reading into it, I think Mr. Nice Guy's over now.
I don't think he's nice.
I
don't think he's nice.
However nice he was for 10 weeks.
I think he's a winner.
They're now going to.
Anyone that gets up voluntarily at 3:30 in the morning and then goes, the first thought is, I'm going to go to the gym for an hour.
Yeah.
Is a nutter.
If that's his own personal routine at 50 odd years of age, good luck to the players.
And I think the attitude of the players in this week will be really interesting for Arthur to see. I think he's got in his mind players that he knows.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He wants rid of.
Yeah.
He knows he's got players that he needs to bring in.
Yeah.
And a model that he needs to bring in, and if the room
bringing in a model.
Model. Yeah, me. Giacomo.
I'll be all right.
We'll all be all right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Giacomo.
I do think that he'll have players that he's decided that are in the team next year and he wants in the squad. It'll be players that he's not quite sure about, and this pre-season, post-season.
By players in the squad, do you think externally that he wants to bring in?
No, I'm thinking current players.
Current,
and I think that the moves that he wants to make, we've got a limited cap by what Blees has been saying. It's tight. I don't know if that's just PR spinning or not.
Sorry, George.
But if it is as tight as they say it are, they're going to have to lose players to bring players they want to bring in.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be really interesting to see which players approach this. I mean, part of the question, probably to both of you, if he has players that he doesn't want to be there, would you have them there?
No. He won't have them there, though, will he? He won't have them there. He's not that.
So keep a look out the media photos this weekend.
Felt what we've done under Rowan and where we've fallen foul in the past is we've kept players just because we felt we've had to, and we've probably not looked to get players out of the door. Whereas I think now, I don't think anyone's safe at all. I think if Arthur wants rid of you, see you later. I think you're gone.
So you're expecting quite a bit to develop over the off season.
I think I think there'll be more. I think there'll be more next year. I think this year it's more about bringing in the right quality and the right. So we could potentially put in, if we're talking, we're going to sign. I know everyone says, "Oh, we need to sign 2 or 3 props." Actually, do we? Do we?
We need to sign 7. Actually,
I think we need 4 now.
With the emergence of little Tom, Holroyd's to come back within that.
But can we trust Holroyd to be?
Well, I think anyone that plays under Arthur, you're going to be held accountable, which is a massive difference. You're not going to be just left to your own devices. You're going to know where you stand. You're going to know what your job role is. And if you're not living up to the standards that he will set for the team, then he'll come down on them, which I think is probably where a couple of players probably need that. And we've not had that in the past.
There's going to be some honest truths.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be some players that will have to work hard. There'll be weight goals, there'll be fitness goals.
Oh, yeah.
I'm expecting Lasona will come back a fitter player next year.
I agree with
from there. But no, I am really intrigued. It's the right attitude. It's the attitude that Ryan is what fans want to hear from Brad Arthur.
I think so.
Every fan, probably from when the table finished at 8th, would have gone, I want them in on Monday and I want them drilled.
Yeah, pull them apart for a week.
And we've forgotten we've got Morgan Gannon's come back as well. Who's had
a complete forgotten man. Boy.
So, yeah, I think, yes, we need signings, but I don't think we need to go out. I don't want to buy numbers. I want to buy quality that will fit into the 13 because then that'll probably.
Yeah, we can't have any more projects or.
No. We don't need. If you look at the likes of, we've got good enough youngsters now that can back us up as well. We've got Alfie, we've got Riley, we've got Max. There's Ned. All these have had game time. Jack. All these have had game time this year. Probably not enough in the likes of Ben Littlewood as well, yeah. Little Tom.
Preston Castle's probably going to come through next year as well.
So I don't think we need numbers. I think we need to be. I think we need to go in and go, right, this is the area we need. We're going to go out and we're going to sign some real quality and get. I expect us to sign a quality prop, a quality second row. And I think if we do that, the pack will then look stronger. Especially when you look back to them stats. I mean, they're embarrassing for two of them.
Yeah.
But I think my last point on this pre-season, or post-season, is that Arthur will be setting the bar now of, this is what pre-season's going to be like. When you're off, if you're getting married or you're on holidays or whatever, you know what level of fitness you need to come back to, because this is how hard it's going to be. It'll be a tone setter.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't want to be there to do it because I'll be on my arse after the first shuttle run. Unless there's a beer at the end of it, I might put a bit more effort. I'm certainly not the type of player. I'm certainly not the type of player that Brad Arthur. Speaking of beer, can you pass that beer over, Duncan? There we go. Worked all right, that.
Needs a beer for the end of the pod.
But yeah, I think it'll be a tone setter and it'll be Brad Arthur saying, this is how hard it's going to be when you come back.
So, think about what you're eating when you're on holiday, because you're going to have to drop it all. I suppose we should mention former Rhino Rhys Martin did make it into the official Super League Dream Team, and I just feel that just sums up our season. Just a player that's leaving.
And 3 former Rhinos in the Dream Team.
And there's 3 former Rhinos now in the Dream Team.
Bit of a kick in the teeth that for me with Martin,
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not asked.
You're not asked.
But one thing I'll say about the Martin's Dream Team selection, and this is not because he is leaving, is that I think Rhys Martin's had better years at the Rhinos.
Kai O'Donnell's been better.
Kai
O'Donnell has been better than Rhys Martin this year. I'm not just saying that because he's leaving.
I am. I definitely am.
But look, I think the perfect way for Rhys Martin's career to sign up as a Rhino was getting fans Player of the Year, because I think that's a sign of appreciation from the fans. I know Duncan was probably looking at me and disagreeing because he shouldn't be getting that vote. I didn't vote for him for Player of the Year at the club.
Look,
but it hits me with sour teeth because I don't want to be losing Rhys Martin. And if you ever thought I was losing Rhys Martin, I thought it'd be NRL. Decisions have been made.
I think there's a lot of emotion behind it, and people outside of the inner sanctum at Edinburgh will look and go, right, Leeds have been cheap, they've lost Rhys. He's made a decision, he owes us nothing and we owe him nothing. So this narrative around we should pay him what he wants, no one knows the replacement that's coming in. So you literally can't say, yes, you can be disappointed about it, but you can't take swipes at the club.
No.
Because you don't know
until you know what's
until you know
what's coming in. Because no one knows what's happening.
And as we've said before, and as you said, it's not going to be like for like, because you're not going to get a like for like.
Well,
it's an opportunity to get something that Brad wants, which is what I think me and you agree on. Is fucking hard bastard. Sorry, a really hard bastard at 12, running lines, grubby,
offload,
proper,
and they exist.
The full lot.
And they exist.
So Ali Lau 20 years ago would be nice.
Just clone out.
Something in that mould.
But you do
and get him signed.
I stick by it. We should be cloning the golden generation. We really should.
Yeah, we need to move. We need to start moving on, but we can't move on when they keep reproducing the kits from the bloody offset.
That's true.
Nice kit, that is a nice
kit. That is going to be a nice kit to play in next year. I think that's better than all 3 shirts this year, actually.
Nice kit indeed.
Yeah.
So that's it from us for 2024. Have you enjoyed 2024?
Lot pot of awards still to come.
Yeah, we'll come to.
Have I enjoyed 24? If I'm going to be absolutely honest, I really haven't.
I think last year were worse.
Oh God, yeah.
Last 2023 was you're kind of my age.
Yeah.
I think 23 were worse than 96. I do, honestly. Last 23 were worse than 16, 19. Because even in 16, when we had the what were the qualifiers, at least we had Batley, we could go to Halifax away, Fev away. Fev away were red hot. That was a really good day out.
Yeah.
So that was enjoyable. But last year for me was the worst season.
I just really didn't like Rowan.
And I think this year has just been slightly better because we've had Brad Arthur
Let's be
coming.
fair, the reason that we've not got to where we want to get to is because we didn't pull the trigger earlier.
Yeah.
Earlier on Rowan.
You look at the sides that we've lost to. We've lost to Hull, we've lost to Huddersfield.
We've lost leads against good leads against teams. I think it was Salford. We lost good leads against.
Would have beat London twice. By
A better condition side beats Hull KR at home.
Yeah.
We just can't hold on.
There's a few games you look back on where the season could be changed. Have I enjoyed it? There's been highs. There has been highs. You know, I think the Wigan win was at home was brilliant.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Lee Leopards game at home for the Rob Borough event is probably my favourite Rhinos memory now for a long time, of the emotion and passion from that day. I've never been proud of the club at all until after that day. So there's been some, whilst that came on, obviously the low of losing Rob, that's given us, I think, the club one of the best days I think majority of fans have had
that was really good at the club awards that Phil Daly got Clubman of the Year.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because his work through that time
was impeccable.
Yeah. How the club dealt with the whole Rob situation was like, it just shows why we're the best club in the league.
Yeah.
And I think it's easy for people to forget that.
Yeah.
And the knock-on effect that it has, because there's players in that team now that will have been coached by Rob. And to then be expected to go out and play and perform.
Yeah.
You know, like, not making excuses for the year, because Leeds shouldn't be 8th, but actually, at least now we can see with the likes of Arthur and Blees, I think we've got the green shoots where we will be better next year.
Next
year,
year,
we're no longer pissing in the wind.
But as always, we finish the season with hope for next year.
Yeah.
If I look back at where I felt last year and with my mindset, I'm thinking I am so much more positive. And as I said to you, I didn't really actually care where we finished this year. My main priority was that we had Brad Arthur for next year. And that gave the players an understanding of where they stand. It gave Blees a remit to, right, I know what I need to recruit now. Yeah. It means the club are on the same page again and we can move forward. Yeah. And the club are happy with Brad Arthur. The fans are happy with Brad Arthur, and the majority are. There was one idiot on that Facebook group saying Arthur out, which I'm not sure if it was a piss take or not. But there should have been removed regardless.
No, there was someone that was serious in comments about it, and you just think to yourself.
But yeah, in general, in 2024, no, it hasn't been.
But it wasn't as bad as last year.
But yeah, you're right. 2023 was dreadful.
Absolutely.
I will choose to remember the highs of the season and the best moments of the year, and forget about everything else.
That's how we'll go out. That's it from us. That's the last match review panel of the year. We'd like to say a massive thank you to you all for watching, for engaging, for subscribing, for your lovely comments when you see us at games. It's been really good. It's been our 3rd year, I think. It's definitely been our biggest as a podcast. Absolutely, as we continue to grow. I'd like to thank Duncan, Phil, Cameron, Sam, Laurie, Mark, and all the rest of the regulars that have pretty much been with us from the start, when I was sat in my pants in the kitchen recording via a gaming headset. You were all fab, so thanks a lot for all your work, and we'll see you all next year. I'd like to thank Fast Signs for their support for this season. They came on board as our main sponsors at the start of 2024 season, and they took a chance on us, and they've been absolutely fantastic in supporting our growth as our podcast continues to grow. We thank them for their support all across the 2024 year. We'll be back with the annual LotPod Awards soon, which we'll post out a survey for that. And you can all vote. If you go to X, Statman Rhys at Lot17A, we'll post the survey out, and you can vote for the Young Player of the Year, the Player of the Year, and Best Signing, etc. And we'll host the awards, and I'll make sure I'm in a shirt and tie.
Well, shirt and tie
for that one. Shirt and tie, and then bottomless.
Boxers, yeah.
No, bottomless.
Completely. Bottomless, all right, okay.
Yeah, they can't see that.
They can't sit under the table.
The camera's too far.
So that's why it takes 50 minutes to set up.
So the LotPod Awards will be coming soon, so look out for them. We'll pop up throughout the off-season, as we always do. If there's any big news, we'll be the first react. Any big Rhinos, we'll be the first react. And of course, we also have a live event in November at the Brotherhood Bar in Leeds City Centre. We're still working on thrashing details out of that, but the best way to follow that is on X at Lot17. That's the best way to stay in touch with everything that we do. And finally, please do subscribe to us on YouTube as we crawl our way to 1,000 subscribers. Create those burner accounts. Get your auntie and uncle and your sister or to create burner accounts and just subscribe to us. We don't care if they're cast fans. If you're listening on Spotify and iTunes, please leave us a review. 5 stars. It just boosts us up in those podcast charts more than you'll know. And finally, if you've enjoyed what we've done across the season and you'd like to chuck us a few quid, please do consider subscribing to our Patreon page, patreon.com/The Lot Pod. And subscriptions are available for £1, £3, or £5. Thank you, everybody. The season is done, and I'm fairly adamant we'll be a lot better in 2025.
A lot better.
The Lot Pod, lot better. See you later.
See ya.